My name's Jack, a 65-year-old retired farmer from Iowa. I've spent my life growing corn and soybeans, but every morning I stir sugar into my coffee without a second thought. I always figured it came from sugarcane in some tropical place. Then, at the diner last week, my buddy Tom told me something surprising. 30% of the world's white sugar comes from sugar beets, grown right here in the Midwest. Beets? Those muddy roots? I had to find out how they turn into the white sugar in my cup. So I'm heading to a sugar beet processing plant nearby to see it for myself. Sugar beets are a big deal. Back in 1747, a German scientist named Andreas Marggraf discovered that sugar from beets is chemically the same as sugar from cane. That's right, no difference at all. Beets grow in places like Minnesota and Michigan, where the weather's cooler and the soil doesn't need to be perfect. Each beet weighs about 2 pounds, and 17% of that is pure sugar. That's a lot for a vegetable that looks so ordinary. I've driven past beet fields my whole life and never knew they were this important. Now, I'm in my pickup, driving to the plant. They say 7 beets can make over 2 pounds of sugar in less than a day. I'm curious about how they do it. I'm at the sugar beet plant, and the scale of this place is huge. During harvest, from September to February, trucks roll in 24/7, hauling 420 loads a day, 630,000 tons of beets a season. They weigh each truck to check the beet's sugar content and make sure there's not too much dirt. They only pay for beets, not soil, so it's all about precision. The process starts with cleaning. Beets come in covered in dirt. High-pressure water jets blast them, and they tumble in a big rotating drum to scrub off mud and rocks. The plant uses water from the beets themselves. 75% of a beet is water to save on outside supplies. That's smart, especially for farmers like me who know water matters. They clean 330 tons of beets every hour. Next, the beets go to a giant slicer. It's got 66 blades spinning at 20 revolutions a minute, cutting beets into thin strips like small fries. These strips make it easier to get the sugar out. The machine handles 8 tons of beets a minute. I'm amazed at the engineering here. It's nothing like the hand tools we used back in the day. Then, the strips go into tall towers, about 65 feet high, where hot water at 180 degrees pulls out the sugar. The water flows one way, the beets the other, dissolving 90% of the sugar into a cloudy juice with 14. This binds impurities into solids that get filtered out. The juice comes out clearer with 17% sugar. It's not white yet, but it's getting there. This place runs like a well-oiled machine, and I'm starting to see how they handle so many beets. Now, the juice goes into boiling vats at 266 degrees to evaporate water. Turning it into a thick syrup with 75% sugar. They add tiny sugar crystals to start the process, and in about 12 hours, those grow into the sugar grains I know, about 0.0 inches big. No bleach, just pure sugar. Centrifuges spin the mix to separate the crystals from a dark liquid called molasses, which they use for things like whiskey. The sugar gets dried and cooled on conveyors. Finally, they pack it up. Some sugar goes into 2,500-pound sacks for factories, while the rest fills 3.3-pound bags for grocery stores. One plant makes 200,000 tons a year. Back in my kitchen, stirring sugar into my coffee, I'm amazed. Those beets from fields I've passed for years end up right here. So, fellas, next time you sweeten your coffee or bake a pie, think about the farmers, truckers, and factory workers making it happen. Americans use 70 pounds of sugar a year. How much is in your cup? Drop a comment below, hit that thumbs up, and check out other videos on how your food's made. I'm Jack, and this old farmer learned something new today.
Hello friends, Ecuador's banana groves, sprawling under the Andes shadow, churn out 227 million boxes each 40 pounds in 2025's first 7 months, up 4.7% from last year. Here, Juan Ramirez, a farmer, stakes $5,000, 0 cents per hectare, not just on crops, but on his son's college dreams. This land is our lifeline, he says. Voice steady but weighted. Terrible misstep and we lose everything. Ecuador dominates the banana trade, shipping 199 million boxes in 2025's first half, 4% organic, feeding Europe's hunger. Europe's 2024 harvest of 677 tons falls short, pulling in 5.8 million tons of imports to keep markets stocked. Juan's bananas face a 9,000-kilometer trek to Rotterdam, costing $0.1 to $0.2 per pound. A razor-thin margin where climate chaos looms large. As sunrise hits his fields, Juan senses the stakes. Abundance teeters against nature's wrath, binding his fate to a perilous journey. The work begins in the dirt. Juan's team plants seedlings, battling 2025's brutal foes, Tropical Race 4, TR4, a fungus thriving in hot, wet conditions, and Black Sigatoka, slashing global yields by up to 20%. Past losses haunt Juan. A failed season nearly broke his family. He clears diseased leaves through pounding rain, ensuring each bunch of 8 to 12 fruits gets light and air. Rover handing machines, new in 2025, boost efficiency, lifting Ecuador's quarterly output by 1.77%. Droughts hit hard once, Juan says. Now floods threaten, but every leaf I save is for my boy. As trucks haul 500 bunches daily, a faint leaf blemish sparks dread, a hint of trouble that follows the cargo to sea. A single jolt can bruise fruit, spiking losses to 3 to 5%, or double in storms. Juan's shipment braves the Atlantic, a 10 to 30-day gauntlet where 2025's climate-fueled tempests drive global shortages of 10 to 15%. A phone call halts everything. A Rotterdam inspector's voice cut sharp. Random tests flag TR4, quarantining Juan's 500 crates. Clear it in 24 hours, or we torch $50,000, 0 cents your whole season. The ultimatum stings. Juan falters, his son's future flashing before him. It all hung in the balance, he recalls, voice low with fear. Dockworker Maria in Rotterdam grimaces. TR4's nightmare quarantines can ruin farmers. With EU checks and tariffs tightening, the stakes soar. But Juan fights back. He taps IoT sensors in the containers, tracking 13 to 14 DGC and 90% humidity live. Data shows a 2% anomaly with no real threat. He triggers StarRipe TM, 2025's ripening tech, stabilizing the load remotely. IoT slashes losses by 30%, snatching victory from ruin. That grit fuels Rotterdam's factories, where triumph takes shape. In 10 minutes, 1102 pounds batches rinse clean, robot-guided scanners, culling 5% of 3,000 fruits hourly, cutting waste by 20%. Vacuum-sealed bunches of 4 to 6 preserve freshness. Others turn into chips, fried at 180 dgsc for 2 to 3 minutes, bagged at 150 grams. Banana fibers with 1,500 units per centimeter strength craft over 1 million sustainable goods yearly. Paper, bags, hope. Star item redefines our fight against waste, a technician says, eyes bright with purpose. Juan's harvest, now transformed, ignites a broader vision. In Berlin, shopper Anna bites into a banana. Choosing sustainably after learning of Juan's fight, his journey from Ecuador's fields to global tables ties us together. That scare forged my strength, Juan says, a smile cutting through exhaustion. In 2025, with shortages looming, new Cavendish strains point to renewal. Stand with farmers like Juan. Choose sustainable bananas. Their saga, born in soil and storm, shows that with innovation and heart, fragility turns to lasting light. Hello, my friends. Let's dive into a story as American as a juicy BBQ burger. The comeback of the American bison. These mighty beasts, our nation's emblem since 2016, power a premium meat industry worth $496,700,000 0 cents in 2025, growing at 6.2% a year. Across the U.S., about 192,477 bison roam private ranches, per the 2022 USDA census. Each year, roughly 60,000 are processed under federal inspection, down 21% from 2024, supplying lean, nutrient-rich meat to grills and tables. Is the wild part, bison nearly vanished. From 30 million in the 1-800S, they crashed to under 1,000 due to overhunting, think Buffalo Bill, and habitat loss. Conservationists, indigenous tribes and ranchers saved them. Yellowstone became a haven. Now, with nearly 200,000 farm-raised bison and a 1,031% surge on native land since 2012, they're thriving. Over 5,000 roam wild in Yellowstone in 2025. This is more than a comeback, it's a sustainable meat revolution, blending history with modern diets. Curious? Stick with us to see how bison keep their wild spirit on ranches and plates. Back in the day, 30 million bison ruled America's plains. They were everything to indigenous tribes: meat for meals, hides for clothes, bones for tools, and sacred symbols. Then the 19th century hit hard. Settlers moved west. Railroads fueled mass hunts. Hides piled up and campaigns targeted native life. By the late 1000, 800 s, fewer than 1,000 bison remained. Extinction loomed until heroes stepped up. Tribes, ranchers, and conservationists rebuilt herds. Yellowstone offered refuge. Today, 1,986 ranches span the U.S. Fueling a green meat industry. How do they raise these giants today? Bison life starts on open ranges. In spring, after 9 months, cows give birth to 55-pound calves, cute red dogs with rusty coats, up and walking in minutes. They nurse, then switch to prairie grasses, alfalfa and grains by 6 months. This builds lean muscle for that sweet gamey flavor. By 2 to 3 years, they're 1,000 to 2,000 pounds of pure power. Think they're just big cows? Nope. Bison are wild at heart. Let's see how ranchers keep up. Bison roam free, munching tough grasses, turning marginal land into lean meat with low impact. Their meat's 50% less fat than beef, perfect for low-carb diets. Winters mean extra hay or corn, 24 to 30 pounds daily for adults. Rotational grazing heals soil, boosts biodiversity, and cuts carbon emissions. Their wild side needs special handling. Curved alleys calm them for vet checks. Drones and RFID tags track sprawling herds. Dan O'Brien says, bison keep their wild spirit but fit our healthy American vibe. Becky Johnson adds, bison ranching's perfect for rural life. Demand's up with Canadian imports filling gaps. What's next when it's time to process? Bison processing is small-scale, 60,000 head yearly. Wide paths mimic herd flow for humane, stress-free stunning, keeping meat tender and ethical. Butchers hand-cut these huge carcasses with care, ensuring top hygiene. The meat packed with omega-3s for heart health, zinc, iron and B12. Bison burgers have 20% fewer calories than beef but deliver bold flavor great for BBQ or stir fries. Nothing's wasted, bones make pet treats, hides become leather, organs turn into supplements. Respect from ranch to table. Try check eye for grilling, short ribs for slow cooking. But why are bison such a big deal? Bison are cultural giants, sacred to tribes for centuries. Today, native ranches like Cherokee Valley blend heritage with sustainability. They're economic stars too, creating jobs in ranching and processing across South Dakota and Montana. Eco-tours like Yellowstone's draw crowds. Hormone-free and grassland-friendly, bison fit America's green push. The market's at $496,700,000, 0 cents, growing fast. From near extinction bison show, we can sync with nature. Sarah Gleason says, bison changed my life, maybe yours too. Bison or beef tonight? Comment 1 for bison, 2 for beef. Will you try a bison burger at Whole Foods? Share your recipe. If this peek into America's frontier hooked you, like, subscribe and hit the bell. Cook a bison burger posted with Papaba. Cook a bison burger, we'll share the best. See you next time, uncovering how our world rolls. Hello friends! The Netherlands, no bigger than Maryland, is the world's second largest agricultural exporter. How does it rival the US, the global leader, by using half its land for high-value crops like eggs, meat, cheese, tomatoes, and peppers? Innovation runs in its veins. In 2024, Dutch farms earned $140 billion, 0 cents, with growth steady into 2025. Shockingly, while the US faces a record $49 billion, $500 million, 0 cents trade deficit in FY 2025, up from $31 billion, $800 million, 0 cents, the Netherlands boasts a €42.8 billion surplus. This tiny nation pioneered greenhouses with robots and AI supercharging yields and saving water. But storm clouds loom. Skyrocketing energy costs, worker shortages, and pollution rules threaten its lead. How did the Dutch build this farming empire? And can they teach the US to grow more with less? In the 13th century, a fifth of the Netherlands was underwater. Dikes and windmills reclaimed land for small farms. Then World War II hit. In 1944, Dutch rail workers struck against Nazi occupation. The Nazis cut food supplies, starving 20,000 in the hunger winter. Could this tragedy spark a revolution? Post-war, food security was everything. Minister Sico Mansholt merged farms and funded research, making Wageningen University a global powerhouse. Its ideas fuel startups from plant-pounded electricity to robotic harvesters and greenhouses spanning Spain to China. In Westland, near Rotterdam, greenhouses glow orange and purple at night, their lamps turning winter into summer. Margaret Lawyer runs Lawyer Cucumbers, a third-generation tomato farm. A grandfather's farm? Nothing like this, she laughs. Plants here grow a foot a week. Margaret's team prunes vines to avoid a jungle. The Netherlands exports 900,000 tons of tomatoes yearly, despite its chilly climate. Bees pollinate every plant, living in buzzing bee hotels. LEDs mimic sunlight, doubling efficiency. Water use down 90%, but 1 tablespoon grows a pound of tomatoes, not 50 gallons like elsewhere. But here's a twist. Humans still outpick robots, which miss ripe fruit in tangled vines. Can AI change that? Workers pick tomatoes at peak flavor using a color chart. Green, not ready, Margaret says. Ripe ones hit trucks overnight. AI cameras catch splits, while robots sort small or yellow tomatoes. Nearby, Arnoud Dien's VD Holland grows 85 million peppers hydroponically. Computers act as the farm's brain, tweaking heat, water and light. Sticky traps zap bugs, soon scanned by AI, yields 12 times the global average. In Kentucky, John Smith, once a corn farmer, switched to Dutch-style greenhouses at App Harvest. Droughts crushed us, he says, but LEDs and hydroponics cut water 90%. Bright Farms in Texas delivers greens in 24 hours using Dutch tech. Can the US catch up? VD Holland exports 95% of its peppers via Rotterdam's ports, but greenhouses guzzle energy for 2 million homes. Some say Dutch tomatoes have a carbon footprint 6 times field-grown ones. The Ukraine war spiked costs, cutting Russian gas. Lawyer's farm runs its own power plant, warming greenhouses and selling extra energy. VD Holland drilled for geothermal power with a $46 million 0-cents bet. At Wageningen, Leo Marcellis says lights are life for plants. His LED/power used by half, boosting lettuce's flavor. But can tech beat a bigger crisis? The Netherlands leads Europe in meat with 4 million cows and 104 million chickens. Its dense farms emit the most ammonia per hectare, harming ecosystems with algae blooms. Government buyouts sparked protests. Wageningen's dairy campus tests floors separating cow waste to cut ammonia. Smart feeders find maize reduces methane. The US fights droughts in California but leads with USDA's $3 billion, $100 million, 0 cents for 141 projects across 60,000 farms, trapping carbon with cover crops. Will these fixes save farms, or is it too late? The Dutch can't feed 1 billion hungry people alone. Climate scientist Jonas Jagermeier says outdoor grains feed half the planet, but greenhouses aren't ready for corn. No silver bullet, he warns, but teamwork is close. His AI tools warn farmers of weather shifts. Linking them globally, Dutch tech meets American scale in app harvest and USDA projects, potentially boosting US exports 10 to 20%. The real Dutch export? A mindset of collaboration, rivals no more. They could feed the world. Subscribe to see how. Hello everyone, ever wonder where your groceries come from? America imports $219 billion, 0 cents in food yearly, half its fruit and seafood. President Trump's 2025 tariffs, averaging 18%, hit 75% of these imports, spiking prices 4% and adding $1,300, 0 cents to your bills, per the Tax Foundation. Tariffs protect US farmers and flex political muscle, but you're footing the bill. Which countries feed America, and what's at stake if trade crashes? Let's dive in. From Mexico's avocados to Canada's maple syrup. Think tariffs, help or hurt? Comment below. Mexico supplies half America's fruits and veggies, 90% of avocados worth over $2 billion, 0 cents, and 80% of limes. NAFTA in 1993 lifted an avocado ban, boosting US consumption from £1 per person to over £9 by 2025. Farmer Eduardo battles cartels demanding $68,000, 0 cents in peso fees. Pause. Peso, cartel cash grab, yet his 76-acre farm earns $200,000, 0 cents per harvest. In Veracruz, limes are picked despite droughts, washed with disinfectant, waxed for shine, and sorted by high-tech cameras. Small ones go to Mexico's juicing industry, perfect ones hit US shelves after quality checks. Demand soared with Latin and Asian cuisines, doubling US lime imports in a decade, while Mexico upped production 50%. But Trump's 25% tariff since April 2025 raised prices 4%. In 2014, US limits on Mexican sugar for dumping, pause, helped local farmers but hiked sugar costs. Now worse with tariffs. Will your guacamole stay affordable? Share your thoughts. The EU ships $20 billion, 0 cents in food yearly. Italy's $400 million, 0 cents burrata, and Spain's olive oil. Puglia's Vincenza Tiani, a fourth-generation cheesemaker, crafts creamy burrata that melts in your mouth. Spain's 6.8 million acres of olive groves produce extra virgin oil, grinding olives into paste and pressing without heat to keep vitamins. Oil stored in nitrogen-filled tanks at D'Olio's massive facility. Trump's 10% tariff threats spark EU retaliation, hiking cheese and oil prices 4%, straining ally ties. Can gourmet stay affordable? Drop your take below. India sends $2 billion, 0 cents, in shrimp. China, 80% of global garlic. Chinese dumping selling below cost slashed US garlic growers from 12 to 3. Costing $600 million, 0 cents, from 2001-2005. Garlic prices now rise 4% with Trump's 20% China tariffs. In India, shrimper Anil says, cheap imports crush us. As US shrimpers like Knuckles struggle, his costs for ice, nets and gas have tripled. I'm sick to my stomach, it's never been this bad. Tariffs help US shrimpers but hurt businesses needing cheap imports. Tariffs or free trade? Your call. Canada delivers $40 billion, 0 cents in grains, meat and maple syrup via USMCA pause. Saskatchewan farmer Glenn Wright says, retaliation's killing our dreams as Trump's 25% tariff spikes cereal and meat prices 4%. Farmers harvest wheat at dawn, but Canada's counter-tariffs disrupt incomes and retirement hopes like Knuckles. USMCA's trade harmony is cracking. What's your favorite Canadian import cereal or syrup? Comment. Africa supplies $5 billion, 0 cents in cocoa 2/3 of US beans for Mars Wrigley. Ghana's Joseph battles swollen shoot virus pores, losing 700,000 tons yearly. Mealybugs spread it, blackening pods and destroying trees in years. A third of Ghana's cocoa land is infected. New trees take 4 years to fruit. Joseph cut 1,500 trees in 5 years. South America sends $5 billion, 0 cents. Brazil beef. Brazil and Bolivia a third of global quinoa via 2009 trade deals. Quinoa boomed as a gluten-free superfood with keto diets. Trump's 10% tariffs plus shortages push chocolate prices 4%. How's this hitting your candy bar budget? Tell us. Trump's 18% tariffs hit 75% of imports, raising food prices 4% and costing you $1,300, 0 cents yearly per tax foundation. Sugar soared after 2014 dumping limits. Chocolate jumped from swollen shoots and tariffs. A double-edged sword protecting US jobs but stinging consumers with retaliation from allies like Canada and the EU. It's a tax on suppliers. Passed to distributors, retailers and you, while the government cashes in. Historically, tariffs inflate prices without big economic wins. Trump's scale against allies is bold. But if trade falters, what's at stake? Let's talk about solutions. Smash like, subscribe, share, comment. Tariffs, yay or nay? Bison are cultural giants, sacred to tribes for centuries. Today, native ranches like Cherokee Valley blend heritage with sustainability. They're economic stars too, creating jobs in ranching and processing across South Dakota and Montana. Eco-tours like Yellowstone's draw crowds. Hormone-free and grassland-friendly, bison fit America's green push. The market's at $496,700,000, 0 cents, growing fast. From near extinction, bison show we can sync with nature. Sarah Gleason says, bison changed my life, maybe yours too. Bison or beef tonight? Comment 1 for bison, 2 for beef. Will you try a bison burger at Whole Foods? Share your recipe. If this peek into America's frontier hooked you, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Cook a bison burger, posted with papaba. Cook a bison burger, we'll share the best. See you next time, uncovering how our world rolls. Hello friends! The Netherlands, no bigger than Maryland, is the world's second largest agricultural exporter. How does it rival the US, the global leader? By using half its land for high-value crops like eggs, meat, cheese, tomatoes, and peppers. Innovation runs in its veins. In 2024, Dutch farms earned $140 billion, 0 cents, with growth steady into 2025. The Dutch can't feed 1 billion hungry people alone. Climate scientist Jonas Jagermeier says outdoor grains feed half the planet, but greenhouses aren't ready for corn. No silver bullet, he warns, but teamwork is close. His AI tools warn farmers of weather shifts. Linking them globally, Dutch tech meets American scale in app harvest and USDA projects, potentially boosting US exports 10 to 20%. The real Dutch export? A mindset of collaboration, rivals no more. They could feed the world. Subscribe to see how. Hello everyone, ever wonder where your groceries come from? America imports $219 billion, 0 cents in food yearly, half its fruit and seafood. President Trump's 2025 tariffs, averaging 18%, hit 75% of these imports, spiking prices 4% and adding $1,300, 0 cents to your bills, per the Tax Foundation.
My name's Jack, a 65-year-old retired farmer from Iowa. I've spent my life growing corn and soybeans, but every morning I stir sugar into my coffee without a second thought. I always figured it came from sugarcane in some tropical place. Then, at the diner last week, my buddy Tom told me something surprising. 30% of the world's white sugar comes from sugar beets, grown right here in the Midwest. Beets? Those muddy roots? I had to find out how they turn into the white sugar in my cup.